Hello, I'm OBXToyCat, and welcome back to another video. As you might already know, Title Update 25 was mostly an update for builders. This is because it brought with it over 40 new blocks to the game, and most of these are just, different flares on existing blocks. So you think of stained glass and glass panes and stained glass panes, as well as the new fences, the new doors, and the new gates. These are mostly cosmetic upgrades to existing blocks, which is great for builders. This allows them to do a whole bunch of new things, but most builders aren't using the default texture pack. So this means they haven't actually seen all the different possibilities you can do of these things, and I figured it'd be cool to go through all of the texture packs and show off all of the new items in each of them. So if you want to see a bunch of kind of new looking items, please do stick around and like the video if you do like it. It helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like it. And just for a quick recap of what we're going through, we've got stained glass panes, we've got the new fences, gates, and doors over here, including the existing ones. We've got, iron bars linking up to glass panes right here, just so you can see how they look together. The inverted daylight sensor, the new poppy, even though it's still called the rose, as well as the iron trap door and a color beacon. So I'm going to be showing off all of these things in each texture pack, and let's get straight into this, shall we? So, we'll go through them in the order it gives them to me, because that's always a fun one to do. So the easiest one to start with here is going to have to be the plastic texture pack, and if you look around, this is a pretty simple one to understand. So we've got the stained glass. It's just the kind of glass texture but with a different tint. It's not too different to what you expect, but I do really like these stained glass paints. Like that little bit of that little white thing on it doesn't look as annoying on regular glass that it does on stained glass, especially on stained glass paints. Like I really like these textures, and stained glass itself looks pretty good too. Very colorful, very bright, vibrant, and I imagine a lot of plastic texture pack builds will be using these because they really kind of fit it quite well. Next up, we've got the new fences and fence gates, etc. There's nothing really too new going on here. They're just kind of, more plasticky. You don't really see too much going on here. If you want to have different, colored doors, you will. But these aren't, game-changing designs. They're just the plastic texture pack never is, it's just different versions. Over here, we've got the doors. As you can see, the jungle door is slightly changed to give it more squarey feel, so it does have a little bit of a change here, but the other two doors are just, again, more plasticky versions. Finally, over here, we've got the, the fence, what are they called? Like the eye bars linking to the glass panes. Looks pretty average. I kind of like the way it links, but I always do. The daylight detector, I really like when you turn it off. Like, this is a really nice texture, and it's pretty swell. The poppy has changed entirely, which is pretty cool, and then we've got the iron trap door, which I do like quite a bit. The beacon does look pretty similar. If you don't know, the the pattern the thing takes changes, but it looks like the color doesn't change too much based on the texture pack, which is always good. So yeah, that is all the features here. I'll just show you a couple more. We've got the manual crafting grid. It looks kind of nice. It's got the arrow to show what's going on there, and then the book and quill when you open it. So it does have a different book, which is really nice. I like that they went through the effort of doing that. I think it's a quite nice addition. So let's move on to the next texture pack. Okay, so now we're in the natural texture pack, and this one's where things get a little bit more interesting because they try to give it a bit more of a really feel. And as you can see, the glass has got these funny little lines on them. I actually, prefer the plastic texture packs one because it looks a bit more jolly. But if you see it does have a little bit of a nice flair to it. So I do like this a little bit. So stained glass looks pretty good. We have seen this before if you watched my stained glass video back when it was still like a mod thing. But still, I do like this texture quite a bit. If we move over to the new doors, you can see it's the same thing, like the fences and the fence gates, they're always going to match the fences, which you already had, so, sorry, we didn't already have fences, but they're always going to match the type of wood. There's nothing really too crazy going on here, which I guess makes sense because they want to do it that way. But the doors, these two are very, very similar, and the jungle door doesn't have its little thing poking down there. So the jungle door has a little bit of a change to it for this texture pack with the the hole in it, and these two doors are just over here. So it is still different, but you can actually see less through this, which isn't usually the case. So maybe if you want to have a little bit of vision through a door, you can use this in the natural texture pack. Just something worth pointing out. So as well as the new doors over there, we've got the iron trap doors, which I really like the way these are like kind of rusted and stuff, and we've got the beacon, which doesn't, because it's mostly just blue instead of pink, it looks kind of weird and cool at the same time. I don't know what to think of it, but yeah, that's kind of strange. So let's just put on here the purple one. As you can see, it's usually got this bluish tint for some reason, but that's just how that works. So finally, we've got the book and quill, the poppy, which looks like a rose in this texture pack, which is interesting to me. We've got the manual crafting grid, which is just over here. It doesn't look too different. And we've got the book and the quill, which is like a full-on journal with like a ring biter going around it. I think it's pretty nice. So yeah, that is this texture pack. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have the Halloween texture pack. This is available usually every other Halloween or so, and it's a free texture pack you can download, and it's impressive that even though this is a free texture pack that only a certain number of people have, they still update it with all of the new blocks when they come out. So we've got stained glass over here, stained glass paints here, looking pretty nice, and yeah, I don't particularly like the texture. They're all colourful and stuff, but if you want to have something you can see through, this is not the thing. Like, look, the vision is impaired, it just looks kind of weird, and to me, it's not great. But if you like this sort of stuff, it might work well with a spooky build. Also, Flying Abandoned Mine Shelves look really spooky in this this texture pack right here. Anyway, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool that they still update this stuff, even though this is a free texture pack that they don't really have any obligation to do, but they do it anyway. So, as you can see, the fence gates and the fences looking kind of how you expect. The birch ones have some, you know, cool little markings on them. I like they went for a little bit of effort there. And yeah, besides that, though, we've got, like, you know, kind of wood colors, but for all this stuff, you know, it looks kind of nice, I guess. The interesting thing here, though, is the doors, because the iron door, you know, you've always been able to see a little bit through it, but the other doors you can't see anything through, which I think is particularly interesting. Particularly the jungle one here. Like, just look at this door. It's very, very creepy. It's covered in eyes, and that's kind of strange. So, yeah, looking through here, you can see all that stuff. It's pretty cool. Next up, we've got the iron bars to the glass panes. They link up reasonably well. I guess they always will do, but they don't. The textures don't blend particularly great, which is interesting. The daylight sensor, when it's turned off, I like that it's purple. And I like that the redstone is very much a blood trail. It's like you turn... I don't know. It's weird that that's the way it works. The rose, or the poppy as it now is actually... I don't even know what to call this flower. And then also over here, we've got the iron trap doors. They were, you know, they're very similar to the iron door over there, and I really, really like it. I like the design of this one quite a lot. Finally, we've got the beacon, which is probably the nicest looking beacon yet. For some reason, it's orange, even though this was pink I put on there. I guess because it starts green, it changes a little bit more. But yeah, it's still a little bit interesting. Ooh, that's very nice. So, yeah, being able to colour your beacons in the Halloween texture pack is nice. But given that this is meant to be a scary texture pack, this isn't used all too often, and it's kind of that. So, let's just quickly show you the crafting table, and let's show you the book and quill. This is a very colourful book and quill. I very much like this. So, yeah, that's what's going on here. Let's go on to the next one, though. What will it be? I don't even know yet. Next up, we have the fantasy texture pack. I like how for you just get that instantly. For me, I was like, oh, what's it going to be for like a whole minute till it loaded. But yeah, this texture pack is very gold, very, you know, fancy-like. It's kind of like the Natural Plus texture pack, and it's probably one of my favorite texture packs. So yeah, you look at the stained glass, it looks pretty nice. I mean, the gold around the edges, I don't think it works too well, but it is very colorful, and I think with some colors, like you look at the white one over there, for instance, it does work quite well. The blue kind of works, but not so much the yellow, the red, or the green. That's just my opinion, of course. Same is true for the glass panes, having the gold around the edges, not really too big a fan. But yeah, let's look at the other block, shall we? Because we've got the new fences over here, so as you can see, birchwood's got a really kind of interesting tint to it that it doesn't have otherwise. The other blocks do look exactly how you would expect, but the doors is where this is interesting, because the jungle door has this tiniest of tiny ways you can see through it. I like that they have done a little bit of work there. The oak door and the iron door are different, but the interesting thing here is the spruce door, I believe this is a spruce door, has a little bit of a hole through it. So in every other texture pack so far, it hasn't. Let's just make sure it's the spruce door. In every texture pack so far, it hasn't, but in this one it does. So if you look there, it is the spruce door. So yeah, let's put it back down. And let's just show you. So you can see for a little bit more there. You can see for a tiny bit here. Like you can look down at the floor. I like this. This is kind of like a prism one. And then this one you can see nothing, which is just got to be true for one door in each texture pack, I guess. So yeah, that's this one over here. We've got the iron trap doors just over here, looking nice. The beacon, the color pattern's nice, but the way it comes up isn't. And you know, yeah, I like it better in default than... Let's actually try a few more. In red, actually, you could... This is like a boss beacon. I like that quite a bit. The inverted daylight sensor, not looking too awful. And we've got the new rose texture, which I really, really like in this texture pack. Look how smooth this is. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, that's what's going on right here. Finally, we've got the manual crafting grid. I figured this would look more different in each one, but it looks like it's just an arrow redesigned in each texture pack. And we've got the book and quill over here. So, this is a nice enough book. I like it. It's very clean, very smooth, and fits the rest of the texture pack. So, yeah, all in all, I think this texture pack's upgrades have been pretty good. The beacon it doesn't work in most colors, it seems, but red and the fault are very good kind of contrast to each other, and the doors are very nice too. Moving on to the next one. So if you don't know, I do these videos every time there is actually a new kind of feature release update thing. But basically, I always forget just how many texture packs there is. Like, there's more than 10. It's like, whoa. So yeah, we're here in the city texture pack. I'm like 95% sure anyway. And if you look around, I like the glass texture and the glass planes first of all. They're really colourful, so they seem to work with anything. Even when they're bad, they're still stained glass, so it's pretty nice. nice. So yeah, that's kind of cool right here. The connections between different colors are slightly weird. It's like directly down the middle. But besides that, stained glass not looking too bad, and stained glass panes not looking too bad. The new fences and fence gates, you look over here, this is like a real furniture texture. I like this one. I see how it fits in the city texture pack. Actually, is this spruce? Is this birch right here? And then this is jungle, maybe? This is weird, and then this is oak. So yeah, all the colors are a little bit off. Like, I don't know why the birch is more orange than the jungle, but that's a thing that's happened here. We've got the oak door with its glass, we've got the iron door with its hole in it, but then we've got the jungle door with just, you know, kind of the smooth finish. We've got the birch door with this kind of rickety finish and a handle way down here because it's made for ants, apparently. And then I keep pressing the wrong button down. Then we've got the last wood, spruce, over here, which is pretty nice. This is birch, this is jungle, and this is spruce. So, yeah, I particularly like the jungle door. It's a shame it doesn't have holes in it to see through it, because, you know, there's a lot of benefits to that. But if you want to make, like, apartment-looking buildings, then, you know, this texture pack is going to be an extra great way to do that. So, we've also got over here the iron trap doors, which look like sewer grates. I really like that they took the opportunity to use it to let people do more things. And what I really like here is the daylight sensor, because when you invert it, it goes kind of purpley, and, yeah, it kind of feels like the block is changing rather than just a color tint. The new rose texture is pretty much a rose, even though it's a poppy. I really do like this one a lot. And then looking over here at the beacon, as you can see, this is another one of the things where it's like the color by itself doesn't change too much, it seems. Red, again, looks really cool in this one. Like, this is like Demon Death Red. But also, just to show you purple, the colors are still nice, but they don't seem as affected as the default one, which might be true for all the different texture packs. So, finally, the manu crafting just over here looks pretty nice. And then we've got the book and quilt, which, you know, this book is kind of nice. It's got the page turn thing I like, but the rest of it's kind of just a dull book. So what I really like here is the iron trap door and the doors, because if you want to make a city, like the name implies, you know, these things will really help you make a city that comes to life, because you now have more realistic doors, because these doors, you know, that not every door should be one of these, but now you've got like a apartment door and all these other types of doors, and you've also got like sewer grates. So more great stuff, which is always good if you like making your city, but if you don't, let's move on to the next texture pack. So next we have the Candyland texture pack, which is always a fun one, because obviously everything is just a suite of different times, and, you know, it's always just fun to work out what they are. So if you're looking up here, we've got the glass, which is the same old texture it has been, with different colours. Stained glass is perhaps its weakest here because of all of this stuff. I remember seeing this one before, and yeah, not such a big fan of the glass or the glass panes, but with the textures on them, it's kind of nice. But anyway, yeah, that's the glass texture pack. The stained glass in this, not looking too great. The, you know, the fences and the fence gates, for some reason, this just looks like a nether brick fence. I really need to know what a nether brick fence looks like now. But for some reason, that's like that. In fact, let's use the new host privileges. Let's switch to creative, and let's show you the new, the actual. Oh, nether brick is. So yeah, nether brick is like this, and this is just like nether brick. I don't know the logic there, but there is clearly some to be had. Let's go back to survival. And let's show off the rest. So, yeah, birch looks like birch, jungle looks like jungle, and oak looks like oak. But for some reason, the other two types of fences are just all over the place. The doors, on the other hand, they're different types. So we had a chocolate door before, you could see through, and an iron door, which is made from gingerbread. Now we have 3 different types of edible door, including a biscuit door made out of spruce. I really like this one, because it's, I don't know what type of biscuit it is, but a nice biscuit, maybe? I do recognize this biscuit, and it looks like it has a single chocolate chip on it, and I do like me some chocolate chips. So, yeah, moving along from that, we have this thing right here. I haven't really shown this off because I've noticed it is just 2 textures combined. You'd figure there might be a different join in some, but there isn't. And the iron trap doors are made from chocolate, and it looks like they've got like a little 3 holes in them. I do like this quite a bit. It's almost like a face, and it's made from chocolate. If you're making a candy world, then this is the thing for you. The inverted daylight sensor, as you can see, it just turns off the lights, which I think is, you know, kind of cool. I think the turned on one looks way better, but it's nice that it does turn all the way on or all the way off. Finally, we've got the new rose texture over here. We're going to go into the crafting, we've got this, and then we've got the book and quill over here. So, as you can see, the journal is clearly made from, you know, edible stuff, so you can just eat it if you want to. That's always cool, I guess. So, besides that, we've got the beacon over here, which has a yellow tint by default, so pink doesn't work too well with it. Let's see if red kind of works with it. Red kind of works with all of them, it seems. Not so well with this, there's other ones. And then over here, back to that. So we've got the orange coming from the pinky one. I don't understand the logic, but that's the Candyland texture pack for you. Logic isn't needed. All that's needed is candy. And, you know, with biscuit doors, I can't help but agree. So let's move on to the next texture pack, which you can't eat, by the way. Okay, so we are here in the cartoon texture pack to show off the new blocks once more. So, stained glass, as you can see, it's like glass but stained. I know this is a common trend, but just in case you get mind blown by seeing a different color, hopefully this does help you in some way. I think the breaking texture, this is probably one of the cooler ones to do spleefy stuff with, because, I don't know, it just looks kind of nice. But yeah, so that's this texture pack's glass, looking pretty standard. Glass panes on the same thing. As you can see, the fences and the fence gates, again, kind of just sticking to that default texture pack with a tiny bit of a flare, which I guess, a lot of blocks do need to do, so you can recognize them. Then the doors over here, these are interesting, because you have no way of telling which one is which. I have no idea how you get from, the same thing you get this fence from, you can get this type of door, but you can. And I do like these doors, actually, especially this one. It's like, I don't know, if you want to make a cartoon kind of set thing, you can do that. We've got this door with its massive hole. I know this is the oak door, but the most interesting one is the spruce door, in my opinion. So this is my favorite door. This is kind of interesting, and this is of course the door you have when you don't want to let people see what's going on. I like that this door there is an option to have that, and yeah, I do like this in general. Moving on, we've got the inverted daylight sensor here. As you can see, it just turns off all the light from it. This is turned off, this is turned on. Pretty simple. The new rose texture is very nice. I seem to like this in a lot of texture packs. And then we've got the iron trap doors just over here. Look very... But actually, no, they don't look similar. They look similar to what I thought the iron door looked like, but for some reason they're entirely different to the iron door. So, iron trap doors, entirely separate texture, which I guess makes sense. I mean, now there is some true iron there. And then we've got the beacon, which with a pink thing on, you get orange again, because it's just yellow by default. If you put red on, I assume it will be impressive. It's kind of impressive. Not as impressive with the other ones, so I guess there are some just better texture packs for that. And then with pink, it's not too great. So, yeah, this texture pack is even worse for beacons than the other ones. I guess if you want to have colored beacons, the default one seems to be the way to go. Looking at the crafting table, just a simple arrow there. And looking at the book and quill, it's like a, kind of a school journal, because I guess it's a young kind of texture pack for people who are young, maybe. I don't know the logic there. But yeah, so this is a pretty nice texture pack with all the new items. None of them really stand out as too amazing. Like, I like that door, I like that door there, and I kind of like the daylight sensor and the rose, but nothing's amazing. But yeah, either way, if you see anything that inspires you, as always, just feel free to use it. But we're going to move on to the next one. Next up, we have the Steampunk texture pack. So this is one of the coolest texture packs because, as I mentioned in my Fallout 4 hide-and-seek video, this is basically a Fallout texture pack because the glass doesn't show off too well because this is actually some really fancy-looking glass. But if you look at all the other stuff, it does just look like it's really worn away, and it has that kind of futuristic past thing going on, and I kind of like that. So the different fences, they have some little bit of texture to them, which is kind of nice. Besides the jungle one, of course. The different doors, again, these are very Fallouty doors. Like this one in particular, this could be the door to a vault very, very easily. Then we've also got the birch door over here, which is golden for some reason. The jungle door has some like reinforced bars on it, and yeah, they're all very different. I like the, I didn't really like the oak door design by default, but I really do like these three. If you're going to be using this texture pack a lot, this is even just as good for like a vault type thing. But yeah, if you're going to be using this texture pack, I think these three doors are the ones to go with. So, I really, really like this in particular, by the way. I mentioned this isn't too different each texture pack, but I do like the way this links a lot. Maybe that's just me. The iron trap door, again, really, really great if you want to make like a nuclear shelter type deal. The inverted daylight sensor just takes away the colors, which is, kind of unfortunate. I guess a lot of them are going to be like this. And then we've also got the rose over here, which is an amazing rose. This is definitely a rose. It has thorns around the bottom and everything. Maybe they just didn't update this and I didn't notice it before, but yeah, this is a massive rose that isn't a poppy like it should be, or maybe this is a rose and the poppy shouldn't be a poppy. I don't know, but yeah, we've got the beacon over here, which, as you can see, it's got a light blue thing to it by default, so that means red will look good. Yeah, it looks kind of good. It looks a little ugly around the edges, which means pink might be good. No, none of them have really got a great spin to them. They always have to have this kind of pink and black, purple and black kind of thing, which if you like is great, but if you don't like, then you don't get very far. So, besides that, we've got the crafting grid. I'll just keep trying in case, we get something amazing there, but we won't. And then we've got the book and quill, which... Actually, this looks exactly like a previous one. This doesn't look steampunky at all. I do like the menu options, though, so that almost makes up for it. So, all in all, this texture pack, I really like it, for steampunky things. The new doors are excellent in this texture pack, and, yeah, that's probably my favorite bit about it. Let's move on to the next one, which is, I do know this one in advance, is going to be the pattern texture pack, the most recent texture pack, if you will. Okay, so here we are in the pattern texture pack. So the pattern texture pack, the jungle wood super flower I have looks very nice, and the floating abandoned mineshaft looks pretty friendly and inviting. But to focus on the blocks themselves, we do have stained glass over here, which is pretty nice if you ask me. Kind of fits in the theme pretty well. This is the one I haven't seen yet, and it's probably one of my favorite yet because it's so groovy, so funky, and can be used to do some pretty cool stuff. Definitely better than glass by a long shot. Over here we've got the different fences and fence gates, which are actually surprisingly different. So I believe this is spruce wood, which is, again, super changed. Birchwood looks about the same. Junglewood looks kind of interesting. And Oakwood, you know, you've already seen that, but it's over here. I do think this is a particularly interesting one. It does add some variety because, you know, spruce is an entirely different color, and that's kind of nice. So the same thing's true in the doors. You can see you've got your Oakwood door, you've got your Junglewood door, which has loads of just tiny holes, so you can see through, but you have to go through a lot of effort. You've got your birch door, which surprisingly does have a hole to see through, and it's heart-shaped, or almost heart-shaped, which is lovely. And then I guess it's like a... Yeah, that's basically a heart shape. And then you've got a door with a circle in for this spruce door, which is also blue, and it's wearing like a hippie band, which I think is pretty funny. So yeah, that's the spruce door. Again, I think there's some improvements over the default door, because I didn't really like the oak door by default. But now we have 3 more options, much, much better in my opinion. And then we look over at the inverted daylight sensor. As you can see, I like this because they're just 2 different colors. Green for day, blue for night. I don't really understand the logic, but it works just fine for me. And this is still just a pinwheel flower. This is definitely what it was before, so I guess they didn't change it in this texture pack. Finally, looking over to the crafting table, which I've never seen the top of before. No real change there. The beacon and the iron trap doors, something I actually just left out. We've got the iron trap door, which is very similar to the iron door, like it's got the same kind of texture to it, and very similar to the spruce thing, which is interesting to me. And then we've also got up here, you can see very orange with pink on. I don't know why these colors merge in these ways, but they do. And let's just try red, see if that works. Yeah, I like red. It's very just smooth and simple. I like smooth colors, just so you can be like, okay, the red beacon, let's go to it. So, yeah, very, very nice. So I do like this texture pack a lot because it has melons, and it's, you know, it's just kind of a nice, kind of cool texture pack. The additions to it aren't that amazing. I think, you know, the new kind of sprucey stuff is cool. I think the new birch door is pretty cool, and the stained glass is probably one of my favorites. But yeah, I think it's an okay addition. A few things that I'm like, but the rest is all pretty good. So I hope, actually, I think we're moving on to mashup packs now. This is all the texture packs done. Let's show you the texture packs that come with mashup packs. So first of all, we have the Mass Effect texture pack, mashup pack thing, and as you can see, abandoned mineshafts are so dull and futuristic and everything, but looking at the stained glass, you can see it's, I don't know really how to describe this, like it's, you know, it's colourful, but it does have these big blobs, which makes it really great if you want to make, like, kind of a futuristic computery type thing. Like, it's hard to describe exactly what I'm thinking about, but they do look great for that sort of thing. But yeah, besides that, it's kind of like, oh, okay, then. The stained glass looks pretty cool for the same reason. Like, you could make a fun game out of trying to punch them, because they do, you know, they look like the sort of thing you bounce bricks off in a futuristic Pong game or something. But yeah, that probably makes no sense to anyone, so I'll just move on to the new fences. All surprisingly similar, not actually too much going on here. These are almost indistinguishable from each other. Like, this is jungle, this is birch, but besides the fence gates being slightly smoother or rougher, not too much difference. The spruce, again, has a big change. I do like this quite a bit. And yeah, that's that. So, moving on to the doors. These are the 2 doors we had before. The new doors are kind of nice. They're all clearly designed to make doubles, or this one's clearly designed to make a double, so maybe we should have a double door for that before we judge, but you know, I think the fact that none of them have doors in is interesting, and maybe it works better for a spaceship design, but for me, it's not doing the job too well. I've never really liked this texture pack. It's probably the worst one ever. So, looking at the iron doors, you can see, again, maybe it would be great for a spaceship roof. Maybe. Then we've got the daylight sensor. You invert it, it turns off the lights. We've got the new poppy rose thing texture here. Then we've got over at the crafting bench, okay, just a regular thing. Looking to the book, we've got a futuristic-y book. And then finally, looking to the beacon, it looks pretty normal by default. And then when you change it, it changes very similar to the default texture pack. So I guess that's one thing to say about it. Oh, it's got kind of red arrows going down. So, yeah, all in all, this texture pack, I don't really like it that much. I think stained glass could be interesting in specific builds. The rest of everything, though, is kind of my response. So, yeah, let's move on from here onto the next mashup pack, the Skyrim one. Next up, we have the Skyrim mashup pack, like I just mentioned, and as you can see, the stained glass is, I guess it doesn't really look too, like, this is a medieval like kind of texture pack, but this doesn't really look too medieval. Like the black lines going through it kind of confused me more than they helped me. The jungle wood on the ground though, I know this isn't this isn't a new block, but I really do like the way jungle wood super flat looks. It is pretty cool. But moving on from that, you can see we've got the new fence types here. Jungle wood fences look particularly great. I think I really like jungle wood. I'm getting that impression. It's pretty swell if you ask me. But yeah, looking at everything else, not too much of a change, which is fair enough, I guess. We've got the oak wood door and the ironwood door that you already know and love. But then we've got the jungle door, which is a very, very weird door. We've got this door, which can be used to make something pretty cool. And we've got the spruce wood door. So yeah, besides that, we've got the daylight sensor, which is pretty cool. I don't know how you explain a daylight sensor in medieval times, but I guess there is a way. The new rose texture, the iron trap doors, which look like a sewer kind of grating thing again, and then we've got over here the beacon. So let's just put on top of it the red stained glass, and as you can see, it's pretty nice in my opinion. It's got the black bars in it, so it's not amazing, but still a thing worth considering. So going over to the manual crafting grid, it's got a different type of arrow, which is nice. And then the book is purple for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it's vaguely nice anyway. I'm not sure if it fits the theme too well. Anyway, let's move on to the Halo mashup pack. This is an Xbox exclusive mashup pack. Okay, so now we're here in Minecraft Halo Edition, as the Halo mashup pack is called. And this texture pack is, of course, very Halo related. I don't like the stained glass itself, but I do like these stained glass panes a lot. Like, the way it's like kind of surrounded is really, really nice. I like it. So, stained glass panes are great going into this. Stained glass itself, I'm giving it more of a look, but it's okay, but it's not very good in my opinion. I don't see myself going into a Halo texture pack and using stained glass too much anyway, but still, if in case I did, it's still worth noting. The fences all look very different. I really like the birchwood ones. Like, just look how cool these look. Having a house and stuff made out of this would be very cool. Birchwood definitely being very strong in this texture pack, junglewood and sprucewood being pretty average, and oakwood being this weird colour right here. This is vaguely reminiscent of the Mass Effect texture pack, maybe that's why I'm starting to feel a little bit negative towards it. But anyway, let's look at the junglewood door, the birchwood door, and the sprucewood door. I like this because it has like the kind of danger thing going around it. I don't know why that's all about, but I do like the doors a little bit. None of them have peepee holes through, which I guess is for the whole, it's the future, but still worth pointing out. We've got the daylight sensor, which, when you invert it, does look very cool. I do like that they went through the effort of like changing the whole top of the block for this. It's always good. The new rose texture, which is crazy to look at. The new iron trap doors. These kind of look like sewer gratings again. I guess maybe that's their big use for survival, so maybe that's what their whole thing's for. And then we've got the stained glass on the beacons, which I do not like at all, I'll be honest. So, besides that, we finally have the crafting grid, which I like the circle, which isn't part of this, but yeah, it's just an arrow, which is a shame. And then we've got the Halo book, which I guess it's like electronic paper, which is why it's just blue. That does make a lot of sense. So yeah, this was the Halo mashup pack, which means we have one more, because I do not have a PS4 right now, which means we just have the Festive mashup pack, which isn't going to be too relevant until Christmas, but still, in case you do care, let's show you. Okay, so we are here now in the Festive mashup pack, the very last one, and as you can see, very, very festive, of course. I do like that each, different type of stained glass does have a little bit of a flair to it, so it's not just, just fully coloured here. It does change from glass to glass, which is a nice touch. You don't really see too often with this, and I don't think we've seen it at all in the whole aspect. It does seem like there's 3 or 4 different ones, but still, it's nicer than just it being the same all the way across, so let's break our way out of here. I like that our hunger bar is like little Santas, I didn't notice that. Looking over here, you can see we've got the purpley stained glass. Yeah, we've got the different stained glass, sorry. It's got the same thing going on where you can see that it is in fact a different pattern based on different colours, which is always nice too. Looking at the new fences, all looking pretty cool. Birch shining away once again because it's got like snow all over it, which is nice. And then the new doors right here, probably the best I've seen so far, to be honest, because, the junglewood door, you can see through all of it. You don't have to worry about that. You've got the, the solid birch door when you don't want anyone to see through. Then you've got the sprucewood door when you can see a little bit and you'd be like, oh, I see you've got an abandoned mine shaft in your house, sir. And, yeah, always a good thing. So, yeah, pretty nice new doors. I'd say the iron door and these 3 are the best ones we've got so far. I really don't like this one so much, but having a Christmas tree on your door is always great. So, looking at the daylight sensor, you can see it just entirely inverts the top of it. The thing here is just a candy cane growing from the ground, and the iron trap doors are covered in red because Christmas or something like that. Looking at this, you can see the default color is blue, which means that a lot of the colors don't mix with it so well. I don't like red so much. Let's look at purple. Okay, yeah, none of them really mixing too well. And then over here to the manual crafting, you can see just green version. None of them really too badly changed. And then we've got a Christmas binder to write all our Christmas books in. So yeah, this is the Festive mashup pack. It's pretty okay. I like the new doors in particular. I think the new doors where a lot of the good job's been done. Maybe it's because these are mostly cosmetic and I like slight changes and stuff, but I really do think the new birch fences here and the new doors are the best ones of this texture pack. Either way, I hope you did enjoy this entire video. You would help out the channel a lot if you do like the video, if you liked it, and share the video if you really liked it to let more people see it, because it's the best way for more people to find about my channel. Otherwise, you can subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and this video did take over 40 minutes to make, because I had to download texture packs, jump in and out, which takes like a minute each time, and even though you don't see all of that, I hope you did enjoy it regardless. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.